Oh my god, OP. I think that you're overstepping boundaries. So much anguish and anxiousness. Why not just make the conscious decision yourself to stop seeing this person? This is r/relationships, where OP pursues a relationship they have with their best friend and breaks up with his new girlfriend. This next post is by OK Spinach. My M27 partner, F29, is very upset that I keep failing to change my bad habits. And I agree and hate that I'm not changing. Okay, before we even get into this post, I just want to say that change doesn't happen overnight, and it's not that black and white, you know. You might be making one step in the right direction. Sometimes you take some backward steps. It doesn't mean you're not going forward, it just means your path isn't always straight, and you can't always expect it to be. I'm looking for some advice because I'm noticing a pattern in my relationships and recognize that while I'm a good boyfriend when things are good, I make stupid mistakes easily, and I'm a bad boyfriend when we argue. I watched my last relationship wither as a result of my inability to do anything about it, and my current partner and I are struggling now too. I think we have a lovely future together if we can work through this, but I keep failing. For reference, we've been together for 6 months now. She, A, thinks that I am not respectful and considerate of her in certain situations, though she says that when we are fine, which is 98% of the time, I am very considerate and respectful and the most considerate partner she's ever had. And that while I promise to change when we have arguments, it never occurs. Don't promise stuff you can't keep. That's quite important, in my opinion. The main trigger for our arguments for a while has been my close relationship with an ex-partner. I've been friends with her for over a year and we're still close friends. A says she was a little uncomfortable with this, but would be okay. Initially, we agreed that I would not host my ex at mine, and I would give A a heads up if I planned anything with her. I agreed to this thinking it was easy, but a few times, I messed up and forgot to do this. One time I was passing through and stopped for a catch up with my ex at hers and forgot to mention it to A. Another time, we planned to go on a dog walk and I forgot to tell A until afterwards. A was understandably upset and we had big arguments that led to discussion around breaking up, but instead we agreed on different boundaries. I would check with A before doing anything with my ex. Again, I eventually messed up with this too, and there were 2 to 3 incidents over 2 months. Oh my god, that's almost an incident once every 2 weeks. What we doing, OP? Again, we had big arguments that led to discussion around breaking up, but we agreed to continue working on it. A was coming up to a rough spot in her calendar due to a past trauma, and there was an incident involving my ex which resulted in another argument, and this time I agreed to cut off my ex. Okay, maybe making some progress, let's see. A said it would just be for 6 months or so while we work on our issues, and then we can try to be friends again. Although, we agreed that I could still see the friendship group that my ex and I are a part of, and that it was okay for my ex to be there. So I cut off my friend, apologizing and explaining the situation. A month later, my friendship group suggests meeting up last minute, and I agree. I tell A that I plan to go out with them. A got really upset because she says I agreed to give her a heads up before doing things like this. I don't remember this, but it may be true. Again, we've argued and we're talking about breaking up. Oh my god, OP. A says that I am incapable of considering how she would feel in the situation, and that I'm just not getting any better with this. We're at a breaking point and I feel like such an idiot because it seems like such a simple thing for me to change. When the situations present themselves, I mess it up. I do think about A in these situations, but I get stressed about whether it will lead to an argument, and I delay and then completely mess it up. I had similar issues with my ex where she felt I was inconsiderate and didn't care enough about her feelings, and we eventually broke up because I wasn't changing. I really love A and want a future with her. I don't think she's the wrong person or this is an incompatibility. I just am not improving despite really wanting to. Could any of you offer some advice? I plan on going to counseling to address this now, but I want to get as much advice as I can. Wow. So I agree with A. I think that you're overstepping boundaries. I think the boundaries have been pretty clearly set, and if it's causing so much anguish and anxiousness, why not just make the conscious decision yourself to stop seeing this person? Because you keep seeing this person. Let's see what the comments have to say. Man, you're not forgetting. You're subconsciously choosing your ex over your current girlfriend every time, and your brain is protecting you from the guilt by calling it forgetfulness. Set set phone reminders or something, but honestly, after this many times, it sounds like you know what you're doing. OP response. Honestly, I'm not doing it on purpose. I love my girlfriend very much and my ex is a friend and nothing more. I genuinely have no interest in rekindling things with my ex, so I'm not sure why I keep messing up like this. I think maybe I panic and get anxious when the situations arise, and I'm trying to avoid conflict by delaying talking to her, etc., which obviously causes the arguments. Look, everyone's getting really mad at OP in the comments here, which, fair enough, you know, but I think they are like really robotic in this. I can kind of see where OP's coming from. I don't think I would do this because this sounds dumb this many times, but I can see the anxiety point of view because I do deal with anxiety. And yeah, sometimes I would delay talking, maybe by like an hour or a few hours or maybe even a day, avoid talking about the conversation that I do want to talk about, but it's making me really anxious because I don't want to argue, but ironically that ends up starting the argument. I know this happens a lot, and as someone with anxiety, I can relate to the feeling of feeling this, even if I haven't been in this situation specifically. Honestly, I'm not too sure if that's actually how OP is feeling, because it kind of sounds like they're guessing in their comment, but on the off chance that it's not, that just means they're hiding behind something, and yeah, people should be mad at that. I'm still siding with A though. I think OP should just cut them off, make the conscious decision, because you can just stop talking to them. We live in a world where we're constantly surrounded by technology, where you can just stop talking to someone. You can start talking to people really easily. You can stop talking to them just as easily. There's block buttons built into phones. There's block buttons built into apps for a reason, okay, OP? So if you're having this problem and you want this relationship with your new girlfriend, maybe the block button's the way to go. It doesn't sound like rocket science to me. Clearly upsetting your partner, it's supposedly upsetting you as well. Just stop seeing them. If you're so panicked about having arguments, don't cause arguments. I know this sounds, if you're depressed, just stop being sad, but man, you're choosing to go and see this person. What are we doing, OP? This first post is by the Domino Collector. Hello everyone, first timer here. Please excuse my English. I, 25M, have a best friend, we'll call her Sarah, 24F, of 5 years. We've known each other longer, but we became close during the pandemic. Also, sorry guys if I sound a bit weird, I think I'm developing a bit of a cold. 2 years ago, she moved in with me. It was originally supposed to be temporary. Back then, we agreed that I would cover most of the expenses, rent, bills, until she found a job, and in return, she would take care of the household chores. When she eventually got a job, we decided to keep living together, and over time fell into a pretty domestic routine, kinda like an old married couple but without the romance. We're inseparable and do almost anything together. We go to the gym together, cook together, drink together, play video games, 3 AM talks, etc. We occasionally sleep in the same bed or cuddle, but it's never been awkward or adult. We've never kissed or had adult time. She's objectively pretty, but I just never saw her that way, and I don't think she's ever seen me that way either. If I dated her, it would be for her personality. She's very sweet, considerate, and affectionate. She's a great listener and a hard worker. She values a clean, organized home, and living with her is peaceful, unlike my previous roommates, who are absolute nightmares. She knows me better than anyone else, my deepest secrets and insecurities, and puts up with me even with my flaws. She's the person I trust most with my thoughts. But recently, I started seeing another girl I really liked. Sarah has never cared about intimate partners before, and I've never cared about hers. We only have one rule: introduce the person we're seeing and tidy the apartment before inviting them. She even introduced me once to a guy she was thinking of dating, but it didn't work out. When I mentioned that I wanted to introduce her to the girl I'm seeing now, Sarah suddenly became distant. She's avoided me for 2 weeks, saying she's tired or busy with work. We barely spend any time together anymore. I tried to talk to her properly and ask if I'd done anything wrong. She didn't accuse me of anything. She just said she feels hurt and needed time for herself. We had a small fight last week where I tried to push her for answers. I asked if it was about the new girl. She didn't answer. I tried to tell her that if the problem was me dating other girls, that I don't mind not dating. She told me that I can't hold her responsible for this kind of decision and that I need to make a choice myself, otherwise I'll resent her later. Surprisingly, things went back to semi-normal after the fight, even though it wasn't brought up again. She doesn't run away from conversations anymore, but I'm left with a lot of unanswered questions. I'm honestly lost. She's never been jealous, and I didn't hide anything from her, and I feel so confused. I just don't know how to navigate this without pushing her further away. I broke things off with the other girl, but I don't think it will fix anything, and I don't know how to talk to Sarah about it. I'm hoping for advice on how to approach this with her. Please help me. Okay, so it seems like you guys are in a bit of a transitional period between friendship and relationship, perhaps. Honestly, would have talked to her before you started dating someone else, but okay, whatever. You should probably talk to her now, see how she feels about your guys' relationship, see if there's anything there, what she's thought of, and then your responses to that obviously matter as well, because clearly something's going on. Like, it's not nothing. So if you just ask what she is feeling, what you are feeling, it can connect. But you both need to communicate about that. You can't just go, why are you distant now? You have to go, hey, how are you feeling? What am I not seeing? I just want to check OP's page real quick because I want to see, okay, wow, this is their first post. So unfortunately, I can't give you guys a conclusion as to what actually happened because this is only a week old. But in a future r/relationships video, if we do get an update, I will be sure to let you guys know. This next post is by Substantial Tax. Should I, 24F, tell friend 24F that her new boyfriend, 25M, texted me a week or so ago? I mean, probably, yeah. I'd say yeah, but let's get into it. About 6 years ago, said boyfriend, we'll call him Kyle, and I hooked up. Only a little though. This was so long ago, and I don't remember it fully because he was honestly a big a-hole to me, and I blocked him out my one memory because he hurt my feelings that bad. Anywho, I went no contact with him after he kept pushing for him, his friend, male, and me to get together, which is something I'm not interested in at all. And the fact that I had to tell him that so many times just made me feel uncomfortable, and I didn't want to meet with him again because I was scared and it went downhill from there. Also worth mentioning that this happened back when I was in high school, like senior year in my hometown, which I haven't lived for 5 years and won't ever move back. Fast forward to what I want to say 2 or so weeks ago, and I get a DM from him that says, hey, and without going to the page and seeing who it was, I said, what's up? But after sending the message and going to his page and seeing it was him, LMFAO, I block him immediately after. So I'm not sure what he wanted. Also, I have a boyfriend now and I find it disrespectful to interact anyone you've previously had dealings with. Fair enough, me too. Anywho, said friend, we'll call her Maddie, are more like colleagues because we genuinely are not best friends. We went to high school together, went pretty low contact, and now we're more of social media friends, but still have convos about life or girl stuff every now and then. She posts him in her close friends starting either last week or, well, I'm not sure, but it was pretty close to when her newfound lover texted me and I'm like, And now it's apparent that they're dating. Is hey enough for me to tell her? I feel like if my boyfriend texted a girl he has dealings with and she considered me someone more of an acquaintance, I hope she would tell me. Sorry, this sentence is weird, but is that also so minuscule? I don't know, I don't want to start any drama, but sometimes I hear that just because you would want to know something doesn't mean everyone does. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm feelings kind of torn between stay the hell out of it or just caution her. Thank you. I mean, yeah, I'd tell her because that's weird, right? That's weird. Especially if it's not for nefarious purposes. Why just reach out with a hey? Why not like describe who you are and how you know each other again, or like why you're reaching out after all this time? I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. I would say yeah. But also, if they're an a-hole, wouldn't you want to warn them anyway? I mean, they're not like an enemy, so he might have changed and he can explain that to her, but like, yeah, they probably deserve to know. I'd say yeah, tell them. And the comments I'm reading here also say tell them. So tell her, man.
Do it.
This next post is by Ditty. How can I trust my partner? Wow, big question. Let's get into it. I am in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend, 21M, and I, 19M, have been together for several months, but in recent weeks, I have felt something different. I know that yes, he's my partner, and obviously I should trust him, but lately I've felt that the situation is not the same as before. I know that I am the cause of the situation, but I can't help feeling distrustful when I don't trust almost anyone else. Even though he says nice things to me and gives me the confidence to tell him anything and talk about my problems at any time, I don't know why I feel distrustful. It's my first relationship in life, and I don't want to mess it up because he's someone special to me, even before he was my boyfriend. So what do you do when you're in a relationship so you don't get bored? And how can I trust in that person more? I really feel like he often lies to me or ignores me, but I can't say for sure. And every time we talk, since the sensitive conversation we had on New Year's, he seems less enthusiastic. Maybe he's disappointed in me, but he told me he would support me. How can I trust that he will? Look, OP, honestly, I don't think we have enough context. Because all you've said is that you had a sensitive conversation and now he feels weird and he's acting weird. We don't know if you're going to mow the lawn differently or whether you're pursuing a polyamorous relationship. Not enough information there, man. I will say that I've had a long distance relationship before and they are really difficult to navigate. Your brain could be trying to sabotage you. That happens a lot, but it could be a red flag. Who knows? I suggest communicating with your partner, asking about the less enthusiastic part of him and seeing how he reacts or how he responds to that. You know, sometimes partners just want you to ask. And communication is always key, especially in a long distance relationship because it's kind of all you have. You need that to survive. This was r/relationships. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out some other videos on the channel. And also, if you agreed or disagreed with anything I said, make sure to let me know in the comments below. You see this cool button down here? Click it. Click it, you'll get a cookie. Please click it. Please click it, it's fine. Also, I post new Reddit content every single day. Click the cookie, click it, click it.